started. Right here, Coach, third row, blue shirt.
Alex Dodd, Dodd Sports Network. You open up conference play with the Clemson team that's picked preseason favorite in the ACC. What's your outlook on that game?
Well, it's a great conference opener for us. Obviously, we need to play our opening game in Atlanta versus Auburn first, and then a very good Houston team comes to Louisville and plays us on Saturday, and then Clemson is a Thursday night game, a real short turnaround, something that's going to challenge our players to get ready for. We've got to have a good plan for it. We've been working hard, at getting ready for that game already. They're a very, very good football team with an exciting quarterback and very good receivers. So it's a challenge for us, but we're certainly looking forward to it. And I know it's going to be a great game to have at the University of Louisville and in Papa John's Stadium. And that's the fun thing about being in the ACC is the teams that we now get to bring in on a year-to-year basis into Papa John's.
Left side, second row.
Bob Holliday, WRL.com. Coach, two stats jump out at me in looking at your worksheet last year. You led the league in turnovers forced, forcing an incredible 30, 26 of which were interceptions, as you know. But you were almost dead last. You were 13th in sacks allowed. Only Wake Forest's quarterback was sacked more. As you look to this year, can the Cardinals continue to be a turnover-creating machine, and can you do a better job of protecting the quarterback? How do you do that?
Yeah, I think we need to do both. We got to continue to get turnovers and force fumbles, get interceptions. Obviously, Gerard Holloman had an unbelievable record-setting, year, and I don't think we can get that from one player. But a lot of times you get turnovers because you pressured the quarterback and you're able to, hit the quarterback and make him make early decisions or tip balls. So defensively, we feel like we have a very good team coming back, and we'll be able to do that. Offensively, one of the things that always creates sacks is not doing a good job on first down. So really, when you look back at us, we need to be a better first down offense and be more successful on first and second down, so we're not in behind the sticks and in the third down situations. We are going to be inexperienced on the offensive front. That's something that's obviously a concern for us going in. But I do like our talent there, and I do like the size and strength we have there. We just have to do a great job of teaching and getting them ready to play and do it very early.
Coach, the very back camera position.
Kent Taylor from Wave TV in Louisville. Coach, Brendan Radcliffe came on towards the end of last year, and he talked after the Georgia game, the bowl game, about becoming a leader. Has that happened? Has that transpired in the offseason, and do you like what you've seen from him?
Well, I thought he was a leader last year because the reason that Brandon came on and kind of took over the position is how he worked in practice. How hard he went every time he touched the ball. He'd run it in the end zone. And just his work ethic gave us an opportunity to say, hey, we need to get this guy on the field. And then he learned how to protect the quarterback, how to, pick up blitzes, and not only who his responsibility was, but the technique to get it done. And that allows him to play more. So I feel like he's a good leader. He works hard for us. He pushes guys and in the weight room and in the conditioning drills. And obviously we all know that the best way to lead is by example, and that's certainly what he does.
Coach, we'll take two questions. This row to our left.
Bobby, Dan Tortora, Broadcast Media. Reggie Bonifant, just what you can say about, I know you talked about the offense being, younger, a little bit less experienced, but what you've seen from him and what you see from his leadership moving forward.
Well, I thought last year Reggie, came in as a true freshman. And I remember the first day of practice, I threw him in the huddle with the ones just to see how he'd react. And he showed his maturity and his leadership ability on the very first practice of the summer. And then when he got the opportunity to play in the game, I felt like he, early was inexperienced, wasn't real confident in what he saw. And then when Will came back and played and got injured, Reggie came in the second half of Boston College and then the Notre Dame game, and things were different for him. He believed in what he saw. His confidence was much better. He was throwing the ball with confidence and velocity, and he had a great spring. I think the number one thing he needs to do is be consistent with his footwork, so his accuracy is good throwing the ball, And the benefit that he has is if he can get consistent throwing it, he has the ability to make plays with his legs. He can run out of the pocket on pass plays, and he can run when you call quarterback run plays. So he's a great athlete and an unbelievable person.
We'll stay right here, Coach.
Howie Lindsay, CardinalSports.com. Coach, your coordinators were sought after. How important was it to keep them in the continuity of the program?
Yeah, it was huge for us, to be able to keep Todd and Garrick and continue to build and grow on what we did last year is great for our players. And we didn't lose any assistant coaches, so our meetings are, as far as the staff and everything now, go by quicker. We're all on the same page, and I think that gives us a chance to take a step forward and get better.
Coach, far right, tucked in here.
Yeah, Bob, I guess Carlton Tutor, WREL Raleigh. I guess of all the coaches in the ACC, you've probably had more exposure to the various levels of football all the way up. And just based on 1 year, what are your reactions or what is your impression of the football culture in the ACC?
I think it's a great culture and very competitive. I think one of the things we found out early is every single game we play, we need to be ready for. Most of the games that we're in are going to come down to the fourth quarter, whether we can find a way to win the game in the fourth quarter, which challenges your discipline, challenges your conditioning, and challenges your depth. One of the things that's neat to me about the ACC is you see a lot of difference in schemes and different types of football, from defenses and offenses, and some people running the spread, some people running power running game. You got the option football from Georgia Tech. So it's exciting and challenging for us as coaches.
Coach, middle here in the aisle.
Tim Sullivan, Louisville Courier-Journal. Bobby, based on evaluations by objective analysts of your recruiting, you're getting a higher level of commitment than maybe the program has gotten in quite a long time, maybe ever. How much of that do you attribute to the ACC, and are there other factors involved?
Yeah, I think definitely the pool that we're going after since we've been in the ACC is different. It also makes it more competitive and makes our assistant coaches and myself need to be thick-skinned and understand we're not going to win all the battles. I think that it helps us that we kept our staff and kept our coaches in their area so that we build relationships, know the high school coaches better, know who the freshmen, sophomores, and juniors are. We've worked extremely hard here in the spring and the summer of getting kids to come to our campus and see us, because I really feel like anytime we can get them on campus and see what the University of Louisville is all about and the city of Louisville is all about, we have as good a chance of getting them as anybody.
Coach, camera platform to the right.
Coach Mike Lissette, WDRB in Louisville. You have 3 guys on your roster last year that started at quarterback, plus you added some guys this year. What's the atmosphere like amongst the quarterbacks? Is there such a thing as too much competition? Are they friendly? What's the vibe like?
Yeah, I've never seen anything about too much competition. I'm enjoying it. They are friendly. They're all very good friends. They push each other. They work hard together. They like to be in the meeting room, and Garrick does a great job of teaching and coaching in the meeting room. They go out on the field and they're starving for reps. That's the one thing that you worry about, is having enough reps. But we practice at a very high pace and a very fast tempo, so we feel like there's enough reps. Obviously, I feel like we'll need to have a starter 2 weeks before the opener. Hopefully we can get that done. But I feel like they're going to make each other better, and not only the fact that they're competing at the quarterback spot, it'll make the guys competing for other spots understand that they need to come out every day and do their job every day.
Left side, second row. Bob? Yes.
Coach, in the Coastal Division, real dogfight every year. The Atlantic Division has been dominated by Florida State and Clemson for it seems like 4 or 5 years. You've begun to change that at Louisville and maybe NC State. I'm wondering if you see any change in the 2-team domination. Do you see the Atlantic Division being more balanced now?
Well, I think it's up to us to make a difference in it, and And you saw how North Carolina State finished the year last year, and they've got great players coming back. They do a great job of coaching, and they did a nice job of recruiting. But obviously with Florida State winning a national championship and Clemson having the success that they've had and the wins in the bowl game, you have to go out and beat them on the field. And we have Clemson at home on a Thursday night, which will be a great game, a great venue for us. We need to play well there because it'll certainly have a lot of recruits watching it. And then we have to go on the road, or get to go on the road and play Florida State at Florida State. But certainly, you have to go out and play well and find a way to win the games.
Third row, far left side.
Hey, Coach. Savadine with Dallas Democrat. The graduate transfer rule has been something that's been talked about, last couple months. What do you think of a school allowing a player to come in sort of like a free agent, or do you think it's an option for the player, to further his career?
Well, I think that the players that have did a great job in the classroom, found a way to graduate and still have eligibility left, that it's kind of a bonus for them to get to figure out what they want to do with that last year of eligibility. And you look at guys that have success stories like Russell Wilson and how much it changed his career. I don't think there's anything wrong with it because they're the ones that went out and earned the degree and earned the opportunity to do what they want that last year.
Coach, your last question, front row, left side.
Howie Lindsay, CardinalSports.com. Is there a danger in the storyline being we've got all these guys to replace? You sent 10 guys to the NFL draft, 7 more to NFL camps. Is there a danger for your players thinking about that too much, or kind of what's your team's mindset about replacing all those spots?
I mean, it is what it is. We're on one hand proud of it. We're proud of the fact that we had 10 guys drafted, another 4 or 5 free agents. But the fact of the matter is we had 23 seniors and we had 3 juniors that came out early. So that's a lot of players to replace. Our players see it as opportunity. The young guys have an opportunity to come in and compete and play right away. I feel like we have to do a great job of coaching and great job of teaching and maybe make sure that we don't ask them to do too much, because I think that's the number one way you win is you don't beat yourself. So it's up to us as coaches to make sure we don't try to do too much and we don't beat ourselves with mistakes so that we have an opportunity to win the game in the fourth quarter. But our players are confident. Defensively, we have a good nucleus back, particularly in the front 7. We had 2 guys that redshirted that have played in this defense before and been very successful. So you feel good about that. And offensively, I think we're going to be talented but very youthful. So we're going to have to do a good job of being aggressive and finding ways to make plays on offense.
Coach, thank you. Have fun this season.
Okay, thank you very much.